Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our channel. We're offended, you're offended. I'm Kim. This is Tyler. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend and hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday so far. Hopefully, it's not one of those Mondays that we all hate.
I need you to bring your energy up a little bit. Up, 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 up. Okay, so we got a couple stories that we've been working on. One with an update with I'm sure everyone knows the Artur Pawlowski saga. There's some good news coming from that. Some very creepy news that was originally reported. We don't
Creepy
report
news?
things. We just Oh, yes, yes. And then I know I was being a bit of a dick, like when you and me were talking. Oh. Turns out, um, don't look at memes to get any of your information because they'll make you look like an idiot.
Oh, what?
So, also with the new variant that that was found in South Africa, we have some information on that. And a nice little snap. See how the world has reacted to it. But yeah, I guess you guys we could check us out. We're always on we'll always be on Rumble, YouTube and whatever. Anchor, Spotify, wherever you find podcasts, except Apple Podcasts, right?
Well, technically, I don't think we're on Apple Podcasts or Amazon. So there's a bunch of different things that we are on.
Well, we're
Um,
on Spotify. Like Spotify's the major one. I'm sure. I don't know if there's like, hey, we're on. I don't know, Flupper cast something, whatever. No, but
Flubber.
most of the major one. I don't know. There's all these podcasting platforms now, and they're whatever. I don't know. Fucking Anchor takes care of it. They put us wherever we gotta go.
True
Um.
story.
Uh, we have a Facebook, all the stuff, even crappy TikTok, even yeah. Um, we got a Discord. You want to come talk shit?
And not
Come
get
play some
hit.
games.
But
Okay, good one. I like it.
thank you.
Um, what else? We have a PayPal. I don't know. You got a bunch of crap.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
all over the
All
place.
right.
So come check us out.
You got that first video pulled up and loaded, ready to go. So,
Possibly. Or am I playing the video?
well, at least a section of it. You don't have to start. Well, yes, you're going to play a section of it. So to refresh everyone's memory, Artur Pawlowski was the Calgary pastor that was yelling at Alberta Health Services, telling them to get out of his church, calling them like Nazis and all this stuff. And they're, that guy. So he ended up getting charged, or I guess he was convicted of holding. So this like, okay, everyone, all the compliance, all ignorance is strength people. Okay, just remember that government now has the incentive and your absolute compliance that they can limit who you can communicate with, where you can communicate with them, and just general intrusion more into your private life. And you know what? It's funny, Kim. All the same people that say, "Oh well, I have nothing to hide." I still don't see any tit pics. I don't see any bosoms. Nothing. Nothing.
And I'm getting a little disappointed here.
Yeah. So talk big. Talk big until you got to put some skin in the game. Literally. Okay, so
Yep.
all right, so let's get this first video. Like I said, it on the video starts at 3:20. So
Yeah, I'm ready.
whatever. Yeah, all right. So kick it off. So for everyone to remember, this is who we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Please get out. Get out of this property. Immediately get out. Get out of this property immediately. Out. I don't want to hear anything. Out of this property immediately. I don't want to hear a word. Out. Out. Out of this property immediately until you come back with a warrant. Out. 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 Out of this property. Immediately out. Immediately go out and don't come back. I don't want to talk to you. Not a word. Out of this property. Out of this property. Immediately out.
Okay.
I
So
don't
angry.
care
Wow.
what you have to say. Out.
All
Out.
right. You stop the
Out
video.
of this
I don't know,
property.
I can't hear. Sorry, I can't hear what Kim does on her end, so
Yeah.
I'm running
Stop it.
blind here. Okay, so this pastor, he was trying just to hold religious, holdings. Again, why is an atheist fighting for this? I don't know. I guess I see liberty, I see freedom, and you know what? I'm gonna fight for freedom even if I don't agree with your ideology.
See, I thought like when I heard the name, I was like, I wonder if it's that guy. But I was like, that guy was a while back now. So apparently it was the same guy I was thinking about. So, okay.
Yeah, yeah, him. So I was looking for my robot. So an appellate court judge had just ruled actually in I guess they ended up staying a motion because of the compelled speech order and a travel ban that Artur Pawlowski was I don't know was the judgment against him. So let's put on the Bob Ross afro, and
I was just gonna
I'm gonna
say, do we
paint a
need to
little.
get our afros and our painting?
Yes,
Let's paint a picture.
I'm gonna paint a little picture for you.
Okay.
So there's a beautiful country, lush green, verdant forests, shiny blue rivers and lakes. You could see the fish jumping out.
Mm.
The citizens, the people that occupy this area, are happy. You see them smiling, enjoying company and friends.
Is that fresh bread I smell?
Yes.
Perfect.
My train of thought. Um, but you could see them all. They're enjoying the ability to talk with their friends, to hug their loved ones, to sit and relax next to the lake, cooking beautiful dinners for all their communities. And then the evil king comes,
Bum, bum, bum.
and the king says to the citizens, I don't know, I'm butchering this already.
I don't know. I'm literally all of a sudden I started picturing the Hall of the Mountain King, the do 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 do. As soon as you said the evil king, I'm like, oh, getting
Well,
into it.
okay, so the evil king comes down from his large castle in the mountains, isolated from the rest of the community that had appointed him to be there to help resolve conflict between the communities, to help keep the peace. One of the citizens they just wanted to sit with their friends and enjoy the bounties of their harvest, and enjoy the lush forests, the birds of nature, the lakes, the rivers. And this evil king says, "No, you are forbidden from sharing your bounty with your neighbors. You are forbidden from enjoying nature. you are also forbidden to enjoy the relaxation next to the lakes and the rivers.
But King, why? Why would you do such a thing? Sorry, I'm getting really into
Anyways,
this here.
yeah. So the king says, I've heard of evil creeping in. I hear some of you have been talking ill of me. All right, I'm abandoning this fucking thing. So a
Okay.
court has the appellate court has okay. So the initial charges that Arthur and his brother David and Chris Scott, where they were all charged with well, basically holding an illegal assembly and yada yada. Okay, so this pull up the picture that I have here. So this is an excerpt from
That's not
the court. What? There's one picture.
Oh, like in our thing.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes, that's why, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, oh boy, you're really wow. All right, now everyone gets to see how the juice is made. That's good. That's good.
Oh, that's what I was trying to avoid. No,
Okay.
it's not
All
right.
right. So
Whatever.
this is court ordered this. So for anyone that doesn't know, Arthur, he was traveling around the United States trying to, bring awareness to what's happening in Canada. And whether you I'll say this, regardless if they are your friend or your enemy needs to have the same rights, the same freedoms that you do. Otherwise, once that shoe is on the other foot, once the hat has been changed, you are now subject to their tyranny just as they were subject to yours. So, a judge had said, and I'll just read this is what Arthur and everyone else was supposed to convey if they were doing interviews. So people want to say, "Oh, well, Canada doesn't have freedom of speech." Here you go. We're now getting into the territory of compelled speech, where the government is literally telling you what you can and cannot say. That sounds like a certain country, maybe where something kind of
China.
started there recently.
China.
Hello. I
Oh,
wasn't gonna say it, but
oh.
so
I just sneezed. Sorry if it sounded like a country.
so this literally says, I am also, so this is what Arthur and these other guys were supposed to say. I am also aware that the views I am expressing to you on this occasion may not be the views held by the majority of medical experts in Alberta. While I may disagree with them, I am obliged to inform you that the majority of medical experts favor social distancing, mask wearing, and avoiding large crowds to reduce the spread of COVID-19. Most medical experts also support participation in a vaccination program unless for a valid religious or medical reason you cannot be vaccinated. Vaccinations have been shown statistically to save lives and to reduce the severity of COVID-19 systems. This is a judge.
Wow.
A judge is saying you need to say this. This is literally compelled speech. So this was the original. This is what the original judge had said, that you need to say this. And the judge was also quoted as saying, a gentleman would not leave his country to speak ill of it.
Wow.
What? So,
I'm I don't know, maybe I'm misreading this, but most people, when they leave countries, especially war-torn countries or bad things are happening and they're trying to get out, a lot of those people do have not so nice things to say about things that were going on in their country. So just because you are from, say, Blob, I don't know, I'm just gonna make up a name. And if
Canada?
I
How
if
about
I
Canada?
move to
Can we
Canada
just say Canada?
if I move to Canada, then how come I can't talk crap about Blob? Whatever.
Well, and the crazy thing with this, the judge was like So from what I was understanding was the judge was actually like berating these guys, like was actually talking down to them. Like, how dare you talk bad about Canada? How dare you, express? How dare you violate the court and the sanctity and all this? Like
Well, then
it was like
quit.
a personal. It was like a personal vendetta that this judge had. And when a judge, I think this is my uninformed opinion, but this is also my opinion. I think if a judge is now displaying personal vendettas,
Yeah.
like I hate what you believe in, therefore I'm going to make an example of you. That is super, super sketchy.
Yeah.
Because now, like I said, when that tyranny is, that tyranny boot made in China is switched, because everything's made in China.
Yeah. I
Okay.
personally think that okay, sorry, finish your thought.
No, it's just when that is suddenly that boot is put on the other foot, I hope that you understand like what you have given up. There was in Montreal that they were fighting about, well, we're losing our language rights. Like, oh, now you're talking. How about over a year when we've been saying, hey, our own individual liberties are kind of being eroded here, and no one really talked about it. No one talked about it until they say, hey, whoa, what's going on here? Where have you been? Where have you been?
Yeah.
So
So what I was going to say is like I personally think that judges should be picked the same way that you pick a jury. Now, when you pick a jury, these juries, jurors, whatever, need to literally have a clean mind, so to speak, coming in. They cannot have you cannot have somebody going in a Black Lives Matter trial case if they were ones picketing Black Lives Matter. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't have biased opinions. So if any of these
I
people
don't agree with
partake,
that.
what?
I don't agree with that.
Don't agree with what?
I don't agree with your statement
Why?
because someone could have a bias. So one thing that Robert Barnes always brought up was, or was it Ricada? Whatever, it doesn't matter. One of them. They said the thing that is more dangerous is not someone that recognizes their bias. It's the people that say I'm not biased because they're not self-aware. So like a judge can say, "Hey, I think all white people should be shipped off to an island and just Hunger Games it." Okay, yeah, that's kind of a messed up idea. But how do they rule? Like, can they put their own prejudice, their own ideas aside in order to enact justice fairly?
Well, and
If not, okay,
that's kind of
then
what I mean
let's
though.
talk.
Because like if you have a judge that cannot put his own differences or his own opinions aside and is going to make a point out of crucifying somebody because it doesn't line up with his ideology, that's not right. Because then somebody is literally getting crucified because the judge has a biased opinion and is already against him before he sets foot in the room. Now, if a judge can look past that, like I am a person who literally I can have an unbiased I can put myself in an unbiased thing. If I'm listening to an argument from you, listening to an argument from somebody else, I can put myself in the middle and listen to what both sides have to say and come to a conclusion without my own personal beliefs getting in the way of that. Not everybody can do that. So if you cannot do that, then you need to find another job or take yourself off of that case.
Well, yeah, I guess you could recuse yourself. Um, but holy crap, that's like okay. So I guess, well, I don't know. I think if it's adversarial, like if the judge is saying, I'm going to take every hard line on you, I'm going to twist the laws in order to enact a punishment that I see fit, up to and including now your what is supposed to be apparently in Canada and it's the weird thing is this is coming out of Alberta, which is supposed to be the Texas of the North. It's
Yeah, that's
like
true,
that
actually.
is so Adam Germain is that piece of shit judge. You know what? This is my opinion. Considering you're literally telling a citizen that they must espouse what government propaganda. So I guess we'll okay. So this article from Rebel News, we'll get into. So it's just yeah, huge win. The Court of Appeal just suspended the punishment of Pastor Artur Pawlowski. So it was moments ago, Justice Joanne Strekeff, I don't know, of the Alberta Court of Appeal threw out the unconstitutional sentence that a lower court judge had imposed on Artur, his brother David, and an Alberta businessman, Chris Scott. So if anyone doesn't know, Chris Scott was the owner of that little whistle stop in Alberta. I followed that story quite a bit, and that was incredible to see the bullying that happened. So effective immediately, they no longer have to denounce themselves after any criticism of the government's lockdowns. The bizarre order that they were forced to say official government propaganda after every time they criticized the government was part of an abusive anti-Christian sentence meted out last month by Justice Adam Germain.
Yes.
Ooh, that is unreal.
Yep.
So, since 2005, Artur and his family have endured ongoing legal battles with authorities for daring to feed the homeless, preaching the Bible, and most recently for daring to open their church for all to worship despite COVID-19 restrictions.
Well, I think if memory serves me correct, I think him and his wife, I think they got, like, harassed big time, like, their church was vandalized, their car's been vandalized multiple times.
Oh,
Like,
his
it's
car?
been
Yeah.
insane. They have
So,
been
and then,
harassed
okay.
nonstop.
Oh, so his house was lit on fire. His cars were vandalized, like sabotaged, and the police really they didn't do anything. So
No,
this
they didn't.
okay. So I'll say this, and this is embarrassing to see. Like anyone that does this, regardless of what you think, that and I'll say when COVID was happening, you know, the vandalism that took place, and this is an embarrassment. And anyone that does this, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. Absolutely. It is so you know, Americans that had or Canadians that had American license plates that lived legally in Canada, they'd have their vehicles vandalized. They'd have them keyed, or they'd have their tires cut, or they'd be spray painted and all this shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like it was stuff like that, or people phoning the cops because someone's they're here. Okay, you think maybe there's a reason? Like you think that what they just flew in and somehow acquired a vehicle and an RV or whatever? So what? So what? It's
I really don't
but so yeah,
understand what the big deal is.
the thing is that's what fear like that is that like the thing that I seen that is fear. And there were certain times I'm like, why are Americans here? I thought this place was closed off, but she's fuck whatever. You know, who cares? And there was that guy in was it Banff? Dude got fined like $700,000 because he was in Banff.
Oh.
Like,
Oh my god.
yeah, real progressive Canada. Good job. Good job. Oh, sorry. Here, let me the views I am also aware that the views I am expressing to you on this occasion may not be the views held by the majority of medical experts in Canada. Shut up. Like you should be ashamed of yourself. Absolutely. That is despicable. That is disgusting. That's un-Canadian to be that passive, that petty, that you are going to vandalize someone else's property because you feel you're morally right.
Yeah,
Unreal.
it's gross.
But no, yeah, he was vandalized. Like I said, his house was lit on fire, his vehicles were damaged, his family was threatened.
Which
All
I
this
don't
crap.
understand. Like, I don't understand why people were harassing them so much. Just because he's
But
Christian? Like, I don't get it.
because he was holding a religious service, which last I checked, I thought religion, freedom of assembly was, protected in Canada, but up until the government says no, you can't do that. Oh, you don't like it? Wait 5 years. Oh, you don't like it? Okay, I don't care.
But I mean, it said since 2005, like, they've been dealing with a bunch of issues. Like, I don't understand why people are attacking them so much.
Well, so I would assume this probably is like some health thing. Like, we can't verify that this food is actually safe to give out, which I get. Like, I can understand that to a point.
They eat out of garbages.
Well, let the homeless just suffer, Kim.
Oh,
They're just like they're just a plague on society. So you know what? Just let them starve, and don't try and improve your community. Just let them die off.
that's gross.
They're a waste of space. That's all they are.
That's gross.
Yeah. So yeah, like, please, and I really have to stress. Think of what is happening. Think of the. Think of anyone. Oh, you go do every single week. You go to your church. Well, you're not allowed. Unless the government says so. Oh, you're not allowed to, you're not allowed to do the things that you love to do and the things that you're willing to take a risk for. That's what I think is the biggest problem. People are scared. They need to be like, there's no struggle. I know we brought this up like last episode, but it was people do not understand how to deal with adversity. We are so unbelievably comfortable. And it's, oh, someone's not vaccinated. Oh my God. Oh, they need to go to jail. Oh my God, government, please save me. Dude.
Devil,
Huh.
kill them.
Yeah. Yeah. Burn the witch.
Yes.
It's just so
Oh my God.
it's just so crazy to see.
Instead of the Salem witch trials, we'll have the COVID unvaccinated trials.
Yeah, so I guess we can we'll go on to the next one from Rebel News because they've really been the only one that has painted him in a positive light. Everywhere else, and we're gonna get into them. Looking at you, Global News. Looking at you, National Post. So don't worry, we're gonna get to the other side of the story here. So in a bizarre 40-minute rant, Justin Adam Germain ordered that for the next 18 months. Oh, right. I almost forgot about the travel ban that was imposed on him. Whenever Arthur talks about lockdowns, the pandemic, or vaccines, in tweets, in speeches, in media interviews, he must immediately repudiate himself and give the official government view condemning himself.
That is so
It is
gross.
it is compelled speech, like a Maoist, a struggle session in communist China. You have to say what the government tells you to say.
100%. Like, that is really scary coming out of Canada.
Yeah. Like, please, anyone, just think of anything, something that you are diametrically opposed to. Like, you could not fathom doing. Government saying, if you don't do this, you will be sent to prison. Anything. This doesn't need to be COVID. This doesn't need to be, any of this crap. Anything that you are absolutely diametrically opposed to, that every fiber of your being is saying, I cannot do this. How about shooting a child? Okay? The government
I'll go to
says,
jail.
if you do not, no, shut the fuck up. You need to do this. You need to do it.
Nope.
Nope. Kim, take the gun. Take the gun.
Nope.
You're going to have a real hard time. You're going to have a real hard time if you don't do that.
Yeah,
So
I know, but no.
Well, then I guess isolation for you.
Right.
And how about a nice $40,000 fine? And we're going to financially ruin you.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to wait for that money because now I'm gonna be out of work. So I'm not gonna be working. So good luck getting your money and suck my dick. Yeah, how about that? All right, there are
So
certain things that I will no. Any sort of harm towards children or animals, fuck that shit. It ain't happening.
yeah, this was originally the original article was in October from Rebel News, but um a convicted pastor must now violate his own conscience and repeat an angry judge's talking points or face prison. Um in his 40 long rant, the judge repeatedly criticized the pastor for talking about civil liberties to the media. He specifically mentioned the pastor's appearance on Fox News. But what is the question is asked? But what does this have to do with breaking a Canadian law? Nothing. But it has everything to do with politics. So to stop more media appearances, the judge has ordered Artur to self-denounce after every public announcement. He was also the judge. The judge also raged at Artur for going on a speaking tour, warning other churches around North America about the threat to civil liberties. So to stop that, the judge also banned him from leaving the province of Alberta for 18 months.
Wow.
So here, everyone. You now have a judicial system saying where you can and cannot go. Do you remember a couple months ago when I was saying like, hey, how far are we going to take this? Oh, well, you can't travel outside of Canada. Well, that's not a violation of your charter rights. You cannot travel within, interprovincially. Well, that's not violating. You can still move within your province. Well, but then, how small are we going to get this? Well, we're not violating your rights because there's these four walls in your home. We're not violating your rights. You can move freely in your own home.
Yeah.
So again, don't just think of this, oh, well, this is a COVID thing, because I know everyone's just going to say, well, this is a COVID thing. Apply it to anything else. What if the government was mass just killing every single dog, cat in the country? And you're trying to speak out about it. And they say, no. Shut up. Do what we tell you. Say what we tell you. And everything will be fine. Ay, ay, ay. So this is truly most absurd, un-Canadian, and clearly illegal court ruling in recent memory. In fact, to find anything like it, one has to look back nearly 90 years to William Aberhart, the former Alberta premier. He passed a series of laws called the Alberta Press Act, which forced newspapers to print the government's rebuttal to their own editorials. So the government was telling a journalist
Wow.
that they had to, discredit themselves. Ooh, that sounds like a dictatorship. That sounds like a certain country that everyone's really super pissy about.
That isn't like I
Yeah.
can't even I don't know, dude. Like I can't even wrap my head around the fact that the government or like there's this person is being literally confined to his province, not allowed to leave, and literally so they're taking away his rights that way. And then they're also saying that you have well, what is it that we keep telling all of our American listeners? We have no freedom of speech. And now it's
Yeah.
getting even worse, where now you're being ordered that you have to say this government spiel every single time you decide to open your mouth. What
Did you ever see
the
that?
hell?
Yeah. So that was the rebel news side. Okay.
This is
The
not
only
Canadian.
news the only news publication that does not get a government grant. The only one. So let's look
I
at
wonder why.
what CTV. Yeah. So let's see what Global News had to say. Um. So they say specifically, a judge spares the pastors. That's a weird word to use. An Alberta judge has decided to spare a pastor, his brother, and a cafe owner jail time for violating COVID-19 rules because he didn't want the three men to cash in on their notoriety of additional time behind bars. Look at that wording. You
What?
seen we were just talking about one side that, hey, this guy's kind of being fucked over by the system. And they're saying, "Oh, well, a judge took pity on this soul and understood the the martyrdom that would follow if this person was jailed." You mean it's a direct violation of any constitutional right? You mean that? See, that's the wording. That's the wording you have to look out for. Um so yeah, Alberta Health Services. That is so weird. So this is one thing I found weird. Alberta Health Services has recommended 21 days for the pastor and 10 days for his brother, but Germain opted for a $23,000 fine for Arthur and a $10,000 fine for David Pawlowski, plus probation, which would prevent them from leaving Alberta. Alberta Health Services now gets to dictate judicial sentencing.
What is that? I'm sorry. What is that paragraph right above that? Justice Adam
Oh,
Germain says that Pastor Artur Pawlowski and his brother David will face stiff fines because they would like nothing better than to become martyrs with additional jail or time in jail.
oh yeah, yeah.
Seriously?
Strictly, this is like, you want to see a political prosecution. Look no further than this, because this is a judge that has a vendetta, has a motivated reasoning, and is just trying to make a point of, look at what happens. Look at look at what happens. You speak up, you will be crushed. We will end you. Ay. All right, so you wanna skip over to the National Post one?
I'm so irritated right now, but sure.
All right, so an Alberta court's wrong-headed order to compel anti-vaxxers to refute their own opinion. See, that's what I always find weird.
That's
I don't unless there's something that I've missed. I don't think he's ever proclaimed that vaccines are of the devil or anything like that. He's always been fighting that civil liberties, the freedom of choice. That's just weird. So, all right. So, all right, National Post, get into it. Even in commercial settings, our courts are, under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, reluctant to allow authorities to require mandatory public health messages that bear the imprint of the government. In its decision, in the case of RJR McDonald Inc. versus Canada, for example, the Supreme Court struck down a section of the Tobacco Products Control Act compelling unattributed health warnings, say it was inconsistent with the right of freedom of expression as set out in 2B of the Charter. More recently, though, it did not relate to public health. There was this successful litigation over the Ontario government's mandatory gas pump stickers describing the federal carbon tax. In this case, orators, and in the Pawlowski's case, preachers of religion, are being required by a court to contradict or refute their own opinions. The Charter's free expression guarantees. Supreme Court Justice Jean Beats wrote in 1984, and this is what they quoted, must prohibit compelling anyone to utter opinions that are not his own. To do otherwise is totalitarian and as such alien to the tradition of free nations like Canada.
oh, How nice. I guess they just forgot about
Yikes.
that little section.
So, among those suspicious of vaccine mandates and the medications themselves, the judge's action must create the impression that the defendant's sin was in saying the wrong thing and defying the medical establishment, rather than in making physical headway for deadly pathogens. He may be unwittingly contributing to an ongoing public health disaster in the West. If he thought himself clever for having done this, or deemed himself privately to be striking some sort of heroic blow on behalf of science, we would beseech him to reconsider. Yikes.
Um, I
Ooh.
can't even. That's a
So
whole
at
lot of
least,
bullshit.
like at least an appellate court has said, "Hey, you cannot compel someone to say something. You cannot do that. Period." But that is
I wonder if
like
they
if
just
we're
like
not over.
sorry, I was just gonna say, I wonder if they just like put like a little post-it over that part and it's just like if you can't see it, it's not there. Like just pretend it's not there. Just go with it.
It's just so these people, what the fuck? Yeah, incredible. Well, it's just incredible the vindictive way that this judge has decided to act. Even though, like I said, it's been that's been pulled back, so he doesn't have to, self, I don't know, commit open like self-loathing on behest of the government. But yeah, so um,
It's just
yeah,
I'm sorry,
you have
that's
to.
just extremely wrong. Like literally telling somebody this is what you have to say. Like you're being forced anytime you open up your mouth, if somebody asks you anything or you decide just to start sharing, this is what has to come out of your mouth. And if it doesn't, oh, if it doesn't, we're coming for you. Like what? How this is Canada, right? Like I didn't like fall asleep and wake up in some I don't know,
Orwellian fucking
communist country or
dystopia.
something, did I?
It's quite Orwellian, isn't it?
Oh, it's something.
What was the quote? Ignorance is a strength. Sorry, I've forgotten the quote, but um, war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. Yep, war is peace. So by creating a war inside of our own country, turning neighbor on neighbor, that's for peace. Freedom. Oh, the freedom to do what you want? The freedom to have no direction? Oh, that is slavery. And ignorance. Not having to be bogged down with all this information. Just shut up and listen. I'll tell you what to think. That is true strength.
Yes, please tell me
Oh,
what to think and what to
okay.
say. I am robot.
Okay, so there's a new variant that's come, COVID variant that has come out of, well, they've detected in North Africa, in Africa. And so this article from the Daily Mail, which was which is titled "Unusual Symptoms for a Mutant COVID Strain." I can't see it because ad block is pulling up right now. So, but yeah. Anyways, so the South African doctor who first raised the alarm on new COVID variant Omicron has revealed that patients are presented with unusual symptoms. The doctor, who has practiced for over 30 years and chairs the South African Medical Association, said that none of the Omicron patients suffered from a loss of taste of smell, typically associated with COVID, but instead presented with unusual markers like intense fatigue and a high pulse rate. Their symptoms were so different and so mild from those I had treated before, Dr. Coetzee told The Telegraph. She was compelled to inform South Africa's Vaccine Advisory Board on November 18th when she treated a family of 4, all of whom were suffering from intense fatigue after testing positive for COVID. So they're showing. So for anyone, Dr. Z-Dog MD, Dr. Zubin, he was already
Holla.
talking about this. Yeah, he does a really good job on this, kind of breaking this stuff down. And I know we kind of we echoed the same thing of that. Typically, the variants are gonna there's gonna be mutations where one might be bad, and then it just gets knocked out because it's not as efficient. So apparently, Delta seems to be the most viable, and anything that's gonna succeed it is gonna be more transmissible, less deadly. I'm not saying that's what's happening right now. This is just initial information, but it's incredible to see already. Government has reacted by banning travel to South Africa, even though it's already been found in Europe. It's already been found in Canada. It's already
Really?
spread everywhere. Yeah, it's already here, and so governments are already reacting, saying shut down travel from South Africa.
Well,
Well,
it's funny. It's like they're a little late to the party again. When the whole thing came out of China, well, they waited until we already had it before they decided to shut everything down, all the travel and stuff. So I feel like they're just, perpetually late for the party here.
well, yeah, they're always going to be fashionably late, and they're always going to bring a bag of chips and say, "Hey, I brought this for you." That's
Right?
what they're going to be
Want some more
like.
peanuts?
Yeah, yeah. You got to show them yourself though. But
Son of a bitch.
and so what was Biden saying to Trump? Oh, well, shutting down traffic travel is xenophobic. Well, now what? Canada was spouting a lot of this type of crap, and now look, it's crazy that people are now cheering. They want more lockdowns. Give me more lockdowns. We need to stop, African countries. Isn't that some of the poorest places in the world?
Yes.
But, well, whatever. Who cares? Who cares? It's just a bunch of poor people. Who
Oh,
cares?
right. They're okay without food. They've lived for how long with like barely any food? I'm
Well,
sure they don't need the planes to come in with more food. That's
so
fine.
but I thought the vaccines work, right?
Well, they do work, but I've noticed that they work better for like the quote unquote elite, you know? They work really well for them. I don't know why it is
Hmm.
that the vaccines work so much better for them and not for everybody else, but I don't know, whichever one they're getting, it's fucking spot on.
Yeah. So, already hammering more against countries that are already struggling. You know, first world countries, some of the wealthiest, all the G7 countries have more than enough. And so here, okay, so think of this. If you don't think this is about health and it's not about money, this would have been done for free. This would have been done for free. But what did Bill Gates do? I've been looking into a little bit more of
Oh,
Bill Gates
Billy
because the
boy.
guy's just. So if this was such a life-saving thing, something that had to save the world, what was the institute? Hold on, I'm gonna look this. This is a uh forces Hatton, I believe. Hold on, I'm gonna. This is just off the dome piece. Um, where was it? Oh,
Doesn't sound like it's off
shouldn't
the
lift COVID
dome
19.
piece. It sounds like it's off the Google or the Duck Duck.
Well, it's It's off the DuckDuckGo. So, well, because I wanted to make sure that I got this information right. So Bill Gates comments on COVID-19 vaccine patent. So the Biden administration is being pressured by progressive lawmakers and public health advocates to temporarily lift vaccine patent protections. So in other words, other companies could not make a vaccine. So it would be isolated to certain companies that Bill Gates has quite a bit of money invested into.
Shut your mouth.
So the vaccine recipes can be shared with the world as COVID-19 cases and deaths. Here, I'll send this off to you. I wasn't really planning on talking about this, but here we go. In an interview with Britain's Sky News this week, the billionaire philanthropist was asked if he thought it would be helpful to lift intellectual property protection on COVID-19 vaccines. The thing that's holding things up in this case is not intellectual property. It's not like there's some idle vaccine factory with regulatory approval that makes magically safe vaccines. You've got to do this trial on these things, and every manufacturing process needs to be looked at in a very careful way. So there was there's only so many vaccine factories in the world, and people are very serious about the safety of vaccines. Moving a vaccine, say, from a Johnson & Johnson factory into a factory in India, it's novel. It's only because our grants and expertise that can happen at all. So he's kind of just saying, well, we know what we're doing. We're not going to give it to them. Give it to third world countries. They're too stupid. Only because we're good at it. Jonas Salk, inventor of the polio vaccine, once famously asked if you could patent the sun in regards to intellectual property rights for the polio vaccine. That's a far cry from Bill Gates' unilateral decision to place patent protection above global health in terms of priorities. That was tweeted from Angela Rasmussen, a virologist at Georgetown University's Center for Global Health and Science and Security. So, yeah, that is so. And just kind of an aside, I remember hearing Nancy Pelosi saying that we're going to try and get the vaccine affordable to everyone. But
Oh, yeah?
I thought,
How's that going for you, Nancy?
oh no, like the thing. All right, get the tinfoil out. We're going down a bit of a hole, okay?
I got it.
Okay, good. So I think a lot of people, a lot of high-ranking people are making a lot of money off of this. And they stand
100%.
to make a lot of money. So, all these new vaccines, they can charge hundreds of dollars for these doses, for a vial. Well, let's use the big dirty I word. The horse dewormer itself can be or say monoclonal antibodies, which is a type of treatment for this, which is expensive, but apparently it has a lot better efficacy, especially for a longer time, and it helps you combat it even better, which was something that was available to everyone. Hold on, was available to everyone in the States. Was not made available for everyone in Canada. So, my hunch is that a lot of very, very wealthy people are trying to make a lot more money. If this was such a life-saving thing, okay, so I'll say ivermectin can literally be made for like pennies. And it is so unbelievably safe. And it's one thing I find really interesting, like people to say like, oh, you can overdose on it.
You can overdose on anything, literally anything.
Hold on. In terms of, so ivermectin is considered a world drug. It is an absolute necessity for the world. In terms of its safetiness and in terms of overdosing, I don't remember where I seen this from, but that it can be administered by people who are illiterate. That's how safe it is.
Oh, that sounds
Isn't
pretty
that
deadly. Mhm.
isn't that incredible?
Well,
You
yeah, but of course they're
it
not gonna
is
capitalize on it because it can be made for literally
it's
pennies, and people already it's already out. It's already out there, so
well,
they
it's
can't
a
all of a
general.
sudden, put a massive price tag on it and try to resell it because people will be like, "Hey, what the fuck? It was like $10 earlier this month. Now you're charging me 500? What the hell?" They can't do that. So they gotta figure out another way that
w
they can make money and keep people away from the cheap shit.
well, and one thing okay, so Merrick, the company that ended up a Nobel Prize winning, drug, they ended up they created another oral therapy, a pill that you could take, and it has very, very, very similar properties to ivermectin, almost identical in how it works, nearly identical. So again, so if this was about public health, and you'll see in India, well, they've now tied your vaccination status to government programs. And a lot of their stuff is being maintained digitally. So their medical information, all the stuff that everyone's kind of like, hey, I'm not okay with the government having every single little piece of detail, especially on my phone. Or when they can say, hey, you didn't get your vaccination. Well, there are stories of places that are freezing people's credit scores because they're not vaccinated.
What?
Look it
No.
up. Look it up. Let's see.
I don't want to.
People's credit score locked behind vaccination. Um, do you was it Experian? I believe it was Experian actually did this. Um, yeah, so it's basically becoming a social credit system. Trying to find it right now. I'll have to look up.
Well,
I'll
anyway,
have to look it up, but
yeah, we'll
yeah.
we'll look it up. If we find it, we'll put it in the description box below.
Yeah, so that's my kind of conspiratorial hat. Like it's so amazing to see that people, kind of whine and complain, but anyways, let's uh let's get to this next one because literally the only country so there was the COVAX, which was supposed to be, the G7 countries, putting money together, getting resources together in order to give vaccines to poorer countries. Canada is the only country out of the G7 to actually benefit from it. Canada fucked up so bad we had to dip into the fund that we contributed to get our own vaccines. That's how bad we fucked it up.
Is this the BBC one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. COVAX. Canada defends taking vaccines from sharing scheme. So Canada has defended its decision to draw on a supply of coronavirus vaccines from a global inoculation sharing initiative known as COVAX. COVAX pools funds from wealthier countries to help buy vaccines for themselves and low income nations. Those schemes have announced a plan to deliver more than 330 million vaccine doses in the first half of 2021. So obviously, this is a bit of an older article, but I'm just showing, like, look at what happened. Look at what happened, like the bungling that this was. Many of those countries haven't even started vaccination. So this was back in February. Back in February. Many of those countries haven't even started vaccinations. Meanwhile, Canada has vaccinated 2.29% of the population with one dose, including 48% of health workers. Aside from COVAX agreements, blah, 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 more than. Okay. So, how did we defend the move? Our top priority is to ensure Canadians have access to vaccines, the minister said. COVAX's objective is to provide vaccines for 20% of the population of all member states, both self financing and those who will receive donations. Canada made the decision, as other countries have, to take on this first allocation because we recognize how important it is that all Canadians have access to vaccines. That is literally him saying, we're more important. We deserve it more than you. Listen here, poor countries, you don't do anything. Give it to the places that are doing stuff. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right.
I
So
like how it
with
says
that being
Canadians have access to the vaccine. No, I don't like nowhere in there does it say Canadians have forced upon vaccines or, mandatory vaccines.
well, at the time, Justin Trudeau was saying that this country will never be a country of mandates.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, he's just so full of so many lies. I don't know why anyone would believe anything that came out of his mouth.
oh, it's the yeah, that was never gonna be a thing, but you know, politicians, fuck, you take them at their word. But so, all right, so let's go to the barchart.com. And so this is the stock, this is the world markets. So after Omicron was announced, do you see how it's kind of going up, up, up? Omicron gets announced, boom, you can see it already dropping again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is
So
this?
this is the world stock market. So this is takes like an aggregate of world stock markets and kind of aggregates to see, how the world is performing in terms of money or in terms of confidence in the system or systems. And it's just a drop in, and trust me, people, it is only going to get worse. There are a lot of economists that are talking about a what do they call it? An adjustment or a correction. There's going to be a big correction in the market. A correction is that is a nice way of saying the stock market's going to crash. There's a reason why all big companies, they're throwing money away. They are getting their money. They are putting it into properties. They're just getting rid of money because they see what's going on. The printing of money, the devaluing of money. Ooh, yeah. So please, I would like to know, like, has anyone heard the story of Arthur, and have you kind of followed it? What are your thoughts on the Arthur story? I'd love to hear people's opinions on it. Um, what do you feel about the new variant? I would love to hear that.
Well,
What are your thoughts on it? Are you
I for one am happy to hear that, you know, Dr. Z was quite on the or on the nose there when he was talking about like the new variants and them becoming less deadly. So that's a good sign. I mean, because anybody who knows how viruses work know that if a virus is deadly, it's actually it fucked up. Like a virus never wants to kill its host. So
Yeah,
the fact that it's becoming less deadly, yes, it's more contractable, but less deadly, less harsh symptoms, that's a good sign. So we may be on our way to being able to live with this like we do with the common flu that we get every year.
which that's what's happening. Sorry, everyone. It's a respiratory thing. Unfortunately, we'll have to live with it. Another thing we have to live with. So I found the article. Oh, sorry. This was a fact check. So cashless payments may become routine in a post-pandemic society, but they could also create an entirely newborn problem. Facebook claims for the future. If you don't get vaccinated with all vaccines, child and adult, you will not be able to get money or purchase anything, including food, asserts text above an apparent news article. Vaccine companies part with MasterCard to merge vaccines with cashless money system. The Post goes on to urge its readers to stand up now and tell the government that we do not consent. So, digitizing vaccination records. MasterCard announced it would partner with Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, in creating a digital immunization record, like a credit card to be used in undeserved communities where life saving childhood vaccines are crucial. Children, especially those living in the most remote, impoverished communities, lack immunization records. That represents an enormous impediment to Gavi's mission of ensuring that every child worldwide receives the essential vaccines they need to survive and thrive. All right, so this is a fact check. Oh, what was that fact check? Oh, there was one that I looked up. Um, there was one that I looked up that you could see, like, in the conclusion, they totally fucked it up. Like, oh god, I wish I could remember what that fact check was, but it was so ungodly wrong. Like, it was like, Kim was Kim seen eating ice cream outside? And they said it would be like, well, mostly false or partly true. Let's say they said partly true. And you go, oh,
Was
okay. So they would give a
outside.
long, big. Well, but the conclusion would be, well, although Kim was seen outside eating ice cream, she was not seen eating it on a park bench. Like,
Yeah.
what do you.
She was in her
What?
vehicle. Hmm.
Yeah, like it's some like the like, okay, technically, like the thing with the famous one with Trump saying well, Hillary, she acid washed her servers, and there was a fact check saying, did Hillary Clinton really use a corrosive substance on her on a hard drive? False. Like, like, come on. Obviously that's not what he meant, but if you're gonna, like, technically, let me push my glasses up. Shut up, dork. Fucking punch him and break him. Yeah, so it's um the Illinois Department. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So this is from Sociable. Yes, so it was actually the state of Illinois has enacted something like this. So the Illinois Department of Public Health is using alternative credit data expert Experian to confirm users' identity on newly launched Vax Verify portal. The Vax Verify portal allows Illinois residents to download and print copies of their vaccination records, which can be used to gain entry into establishments and venues that require them. According to Patch, officials are adamant that Vax Verify is not a vaccine passport. However, the Vax Verify portal will aid residents in confirming their vaccinations where needed. So, why use a credit reporting company? Why Experian, a global credit reporting company working with a state government on a proof of vaccination portal? The official answer, according to the Vax Verify FAQ, is that due to regulations and the need to keep the user's information private, we use Experian via a soft inquiry to confirm the user's identity. So they're using a credit reporting company to also dole out your vaccination status.
What?
Well,
That makes
yeah.
no sense.
Oh, because now if you do not get it, you will be barred from certain establishments. This is the stuff that's coming. This is what's coming. If you do not comply, there's stuff in China where they have, like, face recognition cameras everywhere, and it's like, if they catch you and everyone says, well, what's the big deal? So what? Okay, here's the problem. Here's the creepy. Let's say you're jaywalking and they catch your face. They can dock your bank account immediately, which would affect, then they could say, "Oh, well, you break the law. Well, therefore, you are a high risk person to break the law. Therefore, your credit score is worse. Therefore, you are now being ostracized and being, well, you'll be marginalized in society because you're not a good boy, girl, or they, or whatever the fuck you want to identify as."
You can't hear it or see it, but my jaw is on the ground.
Like,
What?
George Orwell was not supposed to be a manual. It's
Right?
not a, it's not a manual. Stop. My balls just dropped.
Right?
Maybe you didn't hear my voice crack.
Right?
Stop.
You know what?
Oh man, Scoob.
God, I gotta buy that movie and watch it again. That's some fucked up shit.
Which one?
1984.
There's a movie?
Yeah.
Really? And I'm reading books like a chump?
Yeah. See, you're the
Fuck.
book boy. I'm the movie girl.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's anything like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where they like fundamentally changed the golden goose and the what was it, the squirrel? There was the golden goose. Yeah. Because in the book it was the goose that laid the golden egg. And then in the original movie, the hell was it? Was it a squirrel or something? Or was that in the remake? All I remember was yeah, he's a little nuts. I can't remember if that's from the old one or the new one. But they changed that for some reason. Like I guess to get like the cheap laugh, like, oh look, he's Coco for fucking nuts or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess yeah. Damn it, because I haven't touched Atlas Shrugged in like a month because it's 3 days. It's literally 3 days.
Well, yeah, but
but
dude, you got nothing but
uh,
time, man. You die?
it,
Whoa. Well, I don't know what happened to you, but it's like, are you still there?
yeah,
Okay, there we go. Hi.
I don't know, fucking Audible's being a dick. Yeah, Atlas Shrugged is a 48-hour book. I think it's like 50 something. I think it's a 52-hour book.
Yeah, it sounds about right. I think that's a movie too.
Atlas Shrugged? Oh, probably. Well, I know V
Yeah.
for Vendetta is,
Yes,
but
that was
yeah,
a gooder.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was reading that a little bit, and I barely remember that movie. I've seen it, but don't remember it.
The V for Vendetta?
Yeah, I just remember the Guy Fawkes Max. That's really it. I don't remember the movie.
I, I vaguely remember it. Like, and Natalie Portman was in it. I remember parts of it, but if I were to watch it again, it would all be like brand new. But I remember it being such a good movie. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all. Oh well, what happens when you're old? You're old. Talk to me like that.
You old fart.
But no, it was so yeah, welcome to your everyone complains about the dystopian movies where corporations control and run everything and welcome. Enjoy your stay. If you do not comply, you will be removed from society. Everyone always complains about, like, the consolidation of power and how scary that is. Well, kind of what's happening here. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, a little. It's a little dystopian.
I don't
I don't know.
know. Mm, I don't know. I find it comical how people before COVID hit, I'd heard oh, not before COVID hit, but when COVID first hit, the things some people that I knew would start saying was very conspiratorial. And you're thinking, "Oh god, like these are totally like conspiracy theorists and whatever, and this ain't true." There have been so many things that I have been told at the beginning of COVID, dude, that came true. And I literally sit back and go, "Holy shit." And I remember one person telling me, "You know what? Fine. Don't believe me, blah, 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 blah. You'll wait and see. Wait and see. One of these days, you're going to be like, holy fuck, they were right." And you know what? I
Yeah,
had those
a
moments.
bit of a well, it's the red pill kind of stuff. But the thing that always kind of concerns me with that, like, if you're always looking for conspiracies, and I know I'm trust me, I'm the pot calling the kettle black. Okay, so just I understand my own hypocrisy and I'm not completely clueless in what I'm gonna say. The issue, I think, a lot of the issues is that if you want to look for a conspiracy, you can find one. Like, absolutely. You can, so many degrees of separation that this person knew this and they were, part of this. And oh, did you know that this guy knew this person to talk? Okay, come on. Like,
But
it becomes a little too conspiratorial when you're making leaps of logic. That, I
yeah,
think that's the big thing.
I mean, I'll agree with that. But the funny thing is that like one person in particular that used to talk to me about a lot of stuff, I remember like people would look at them like, they're conspiracy theorists, you're just talking shit. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And it would just be kind of like, I don't even know if it's like a lark, but just kind of like, okay, you know, here we go again type thing.
Well,
But the only thing is that at that time, people were like, no, that would never happen, this and that. Like they did not believe something like this would happen. And if at that moment something like that all of a sudden happened, people would lose their shit. But guess what? This was something that was done in a span of 2 years, very slowly, right under your nose that people didn't even realize, to the
oh,
point
this
where
wasn't
all of a
slow.
sudden it came and it was just, "Oh, this is the new normal. Okay." Well, it was slow enough that it wasn't immediate. Like it started slowly happening
Fuck
with
yeah, it was.
well,
It was. Like, okay, so
yes, but
I
no.
understand. No, the first thing, like I've said, the first policy. I don't. Can you hear that? That like crinkling.
No.
Okay, good. Okay, good. No, because the first thing that was enacted, and maybe it's a bit of a it's a red, like, there are red pill moments, and my like the first thing that I kind of went, why? Like, why would you do that? Is when the government pushed to ban a bunch of guns. Well, why would you do that? Well, because
So
a
dumb.
disarmed populace. Hey, everyone, look at Australia. Look at what Australia has become. Like, hey, the fight to stop this was about 2 years ago, and I think it's almost like the kind of like the Alex Jones kind of thing. Like, because he spouts off so much stuff and he just overwhelms you with information. Like, man, I don't know what you know. So when you say like, oh, well, the Bilderbergs and all this, da da da, and he's tied to this and that, da 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 da, like, man, okay. So you're just feeding me all this information, and I think a lot of people, they just go like, okay, what is that going to do for me? Like, just because I know that, what can I do? And I think that's the big. People don't know what to do, and I
Yeah.
think it is more just standing up, saying, "Hey, I'm not okay with this." That's It's all right to say, "I'm not okay with this." If a guy walked up to you and said, "Hey, you look pretty nice. I wonder what's under that dress," and they start grabbing at you, or they grab, or for a guy that, some dude or some chick, and you're just, well, I'm not, no, no, thanks, I'm not interested. And they go, well, come on, just do it. Just comply. Just go along with it. No, no, thank you. I'm not interested. So I think that's kind of the big problem is not those people. Okay, relax. But some people that do bring that stuff up, and like I can get kind of deep into the weeds with this stuff, and the thing is, I don't, because a lot of people just, they don't follow this type of stuff. And trust me, I'm not an expert. I'm no Alex Jones. I'm not Jimmy Dore. I'm none of these kind of guys that really dig deep and look for the information. I just, I'm always gonna come from the angle of, how about you do what you think is best for you? And I'll say this: if you do what you feel is right for you, you've made the right decision. It's as simple as that. It's not being told, because you will always have that resentment that I was forced to do something that I was not okay with. And now I have to live with that decision. And I have no way of saying, hey, I'm not all right. I'm not okay with this. Like, sorry, I'm eating a piece of bread. I make this Alfredo sauce. Oh, it'll kick your dick, and it's so fucking good. The one thing Alfredo sauce. Oh God. Oh,
Oh my God.
it's fantastic.
That's what I want to listen to. Yeah. Listen to you eating. Hold on. Let me
It's,
grab my drink and start slurping now.
oh, please do.
You know what?
Please, here.
That is the one thing about listening to like Steven Crowder, his Mug Club or whatever, that as soon as it starts, you hear him slurping the coffee. I'm just like, ah. It just makes me
Yeah.
cringe. Gotta
No,
get past the slurp.
most of the time that pussy drinks tea because he's a woman. He's a little girl.
Psh.
But but once that happens, and you feel, some people, okay, they are going to feel violated, that they had no choice to do something, and they had to go along with it.
Yep.
Okay. That is now someone that, you have broken their trust. When you force someone into something, you have now violated their trust.
Oh, 100%. I
And
do not. Uh, there's been a lot of things that have transpired through life or whatever, but in particular, this past 2 years of things that have transpired, and I will say that once they started making all this shit mandatory and comply or you're out of a job, that broke my trust in the government 100%. I do
well,
not
and
trust
there
them
are,
anymore.
well, it becomes like, oh, well, the government to protect you. That's not your job. It's not your job to protect me from myself. Let me be an idiot. Let me discover this for myself. Give me the information and let me make the choice. And like I said, I'm sure most people will make the decision on their own that they feel is best. And shaming people and you know ratting people out, that's a good, very, very good way to foment contempt, foment dissent, and to foment hatred. When when those oh,
Well, the thing is
when those people
you don't even look at your neighbors the same anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
you're constantly, like, looking out like, "Oh my god, are they gonna say something? Are they gonna do this?" Like, "Oh my god, my kids are in the park. Who's are they gonna the police are gonna get called. Oh, my mom just came over because I need help with childcare. Oh, are they gonna call the cops?" Like, I honestly remember, like, do you remember that one time where we had my parents come over and we literally garage door open, and they just quickly zoom in, shut the garage door, so hopefully nobody would see. That's not okay.
no, that's just a story. Like, could you imagine the situation where having your own parents come to your house and you have to hide them, like, like you're hiding them from the Stasi?
Yeah, I felt like a freaking like criminals. You know what I mean? They just robbed a bank and I'm trying to give them
Hypothetically,
hideaway, you know? Like, it's just
yeah,
what?
hypothetically, of course.
Yes, of course. But, like,
Yeah.
that's
So
not okay.
no, it's not. But and I think that's where like people they feel isolated, they feel alone. Like I said, if you whatever decision you make, you made the right decision. That's just coming from me. I don't know anything. I'm just a dummy that's just, yelling into the void and well, if you're dumb enough to listen, well, well,
Thank you.
you fucked up. So I don't know. It's yeah. So I guess like I said, it's just okay, yeah, they say a lot of stuff, but it's okay, cool. Like, the whole, World Economic Forum thing and y I think most people like, I ended up bringing up, like the Don Lemon thing. I said like, "Holy crap, what he did is like that is not right." For him to, you know, taint, sweat, fucking gross pervert, like, that was it. It was just, "Hey, did you see what Don Lemon did? Yo, that's kinda fucked up." We did a freaking thing on it, how he shoved his hands down his pants and was yelling at a guy and saying, "Do you like dick or pussy?" and shoved his hand in the guy's face.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
gross fucking taints. Like, you're such a fucking pig.
Yeah, that's pretty it's beyond crude and disgusting. Like, that's and okay, forget about COVID here. That is completely unhygienic. Like, that's just gross. Like, come
Yeah, that's
on.
gross that's gross outside of a pandemic, let alone
Yeah.
during one. Like,
Yeah.
that's unbecoming of a gentleman and of me that I hold myself in such high regard. It's unbecoming.
Right? Ah,
But it
if I saw you do that, I would be so turned off and grossed out. I'd be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
I would be turned off and
Ugh.
grossed out. Like,
It's
that's just
like a
uh,
2-year-old wiping his shit on walls. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so immature and disgusting. Ugh.
oh, yeah. Oh, it totally it's very immature. And this is supposed to be someone that's supposed to be, giving you information about the world. So I don't know. I'll say this. Ultimately, I think people just want to know that they're not crazy, that they're not alone. That you know there are just some things in this world that I would say that they're worth fighting for. And I think just having that understanding that hey, it's okay if you think something different. Like that's It's not the end of the world. Like, it's okay to have a differing view. That's how things happen. That's how you change minds is talking to them, being rational, even better, empathizing with them.
Mhm.
And I don't think that that's unreasonable. And I've said from almost like from when we started doing this, we've lost our humanity. And
100%.
I'm not okay. I'm not okay losing that. I am not okay losing the compassion of another human being that has experiences, that has lives. Yeah, we'll shit on people, but like I said, I will always shit on the ideas. Most of the time. I mean, maybe I make a joke or, I say something fucking stupid. And, that's the thing. I would say I will always try to focus on the idea. I will never attack someone personally. I never say never. I try my best not to attack someone personally. I will always try to attack the idea. Ideas can be changed. 'Cause we're all just hurling around this fucking blue marble through space, trying to do the best that we can. You know, that's
Marble?
what I
Are you
think. But
sure it's not a flat saucer?
oh, that's
A disc?
true. I have been dipping toes into the flat Earth society, and oh god, it is glorious. I love it.
Is that like your version of my Scientology? Like, it's just you can't get enough of it?
I love seeing the examples and the absolute lack of thinking. Like, and it's not like it's big questions either. Like, um, well, if how did asteroids hit the Earth if that giant dome over us is supposed to protect us? And people were saying like,
What?
it
The
was like
ozone
giant
layer?
trees. No, a dome. There's a glass ceiling. Space is fake. We are in a
Shut
dome.
up. That's what they think? Not only is the Earth flat, they think we live in a dome?
Yeah. Where do you think we live?
Oh, shit.
Fucking fucking round Earth. You bought into the propaganda. But
Just stupid
there were
round
people,
earther.
but people were saying that, like I seen comments, and I don't know. They were saying that those are consistent with like giant trees. Crater impacts are just the remnants of a giant tree that was dug up.
Wow, that's a huge freaking tree then, dude. Huge.
Oh, I,
I've seen some of those craters. That's a huge ass tree. I don't even think the Amazon has ones that big.
no, no, yeah, it's oh, whatever. All
Hmm.
right, I don't know. Anything else you want to say? Just be. How about this? Be nice to each other. Government's bullshit. The mandates are bullshit. It's good to see that that there's you know still some good in the world, and our some of our judges are good people. Other are petty tyrants that shouldn't have the power that they have. But it's nice to see that there are some that wield it responsibly and can see the other side of an argument and still hold our charter rights in high regard, as opposed to something that you can wipe your ass on. So
Yes. Be nice to everyone you come in contact with. Guess what? Smile. Smile. I know you can't always smile with your masks on, but guess what? Either get a mask that's got a face on it, draw yourself a little face. I don't care. But regardless, even if you smile and you can't see someone's face, you can see it in their eyes. Smile at people, say hi, you know, keep that
it's
caring
that
going.
Well, and that's the thing. It's the humanity. Don't forget that's still another person. Challenge the idea. So, yeah, that's my little fucking hippie bullshit.
I like it. And hug a
All right,
tree.
let's.
Everyone go outside and hug a tree.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's get the hell out of here.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Again, hope you all had a fantastic weekend and hope that your Monday is going not too bad. Check us out on our socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, uh, TikTok. There's not a lot going on there, but um, anywhere you listen to your podcasts, check us out. All the links will be in the description box below, along with all the articles that we touched on today. And yeah, we will see you again on Wednesday on Hump Day. Bow, chicka, wow, wow.
Oh, and share, share, share. Did I mention share? Share us. Share, 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 share.
Share us like a dirty whore.
Okay. Oh,
I'm just kidding. But in all reality, share us. Yeah, we like it.
share, 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 share. Okay.
Bye, guys.